Hi guys, welcome to our podcast Let's Talk, and today is Sisters Edition. I don't have Anabel with me today because I am in Brisbane and I am spending my Christmas holidays with my sister and her family. For those of you that know me, I'm Evlyn and my Instagram handle, which is wherever, not whatever, wherever. Maybe Alisha, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Alisha. Hi, I live in Brisbane and I'm a mom of 6 boys. And yeah, Fiji is my second home. Brisbane is home to us. We've been here 12-ish years, so yeah.
And just to set the record straight, a lot of people think that you're my older sister.
No. I am the younger sister, the youngest of 3. Well, there's 4 siblings. I'm the second youngest. Yeah, 4 years younger than Evlyn.
Yes, she is 4 years younger than me. And we have an older sister who lives in the States. Then there's me, Alisha, and then my younger brother. So there's 4 of us. Yeah. So now that that's straight, now that the record is straight, just because she has kids doesn't mean she's older. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of family that have migrated, moved to countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and America are, I guess, the popular ones. And my sister, you've moved to New Zealand. It was, I guess, different for you because you were born in New Zealand and then you moved back because you had a Kiwi passport.
Yeah.
But how easy is it to, move back? You were quite young when you made the move.
Yeah, I was 15 when I moved. I think 15. Yeah, 15, and then I was turning 16. It was really hard. It was a big culture shock, especially going from a school. I went to Methodist.
It was in Singatukka,
So Singatukka Methodist, and then to I went to a girls' college, and it was so different. The culture shift, the expectations were different, and the way the schooling system was set up was completely different to what Fiji is like.
Right, and then once, let's just fast forward that to when you started working.
Yeah.
Did you have to? Because I know we come from a middle class family, right?
Yeah.
So we had to work. I remember working when I finished school, and you had to start working.
I started working. So my first job was Pizza Hut, and it was, I think this is gonna sound so, I don't know if I can say it, but I think being Indian, it helped getting a job. Can I say that?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know, it was easy for me to get a job at Pizza Hut literally they didn't even look at my resume. I just went in and said, hey, you guys looking for workers? And they're like, yeah, come talk to me. And the guy interviewed me was Indian, and I got a job there, and then I was working part-time. So that was my first job.
And then once you sort of finished from there, you moved to Australia, I'm fast forwarding the scenes again. So you moved to Australia.
2011, I was 18 when I moved.
Right. And then as an adult, as you finished, because you had kids and then you started working properly, how was that transition?
It was really hard. I think in Australia, again, it's completely different from New Zealand. So coming here was easy in the sense I didn't have to worry about working visa, right, or trying to, get all the paperwork, so that I could just come and go into work if I wanted. So that's what I did. It was hard in the sense that, one, I didn't really have experience behind me and I was trying to find work. So I had to work my way up pretty much and learn on the job. And that was really hard.
What is some of the, I guess, stereotypical things that you would have encountered? Because I know, I have friends that have moved who say because they're Indian, it's you guys are hard workers, or
that's
you guys are kanjus, or you guys are stingy.
I think people so one example really stands out to me. My accent, I don't think, is very Indian. You wouldn't, it is, but it isn't on the phone especially. So I had a phone interview first and they absolutely loved me. They were like, yep, can you come in tomorrow, 10 a.m.? So I go into this accounting firm. I've always worked in finance accounts, so that's what I applied for. And there was not one single colored person. And they looked at me when I got in reception and their whole face changed. And they were so amazing on the phone call, and I never got a call back from them.
After you met them in person?
After I met them in person. And even the interview was there was the same people that called me. They were so friendly, chatty. It was oh, just come in. We'll just say hi. Oh, wow. And then it changed. And I was like, okay, right, this is when it hasn't served me.
Yeah, true.
So when you come here, you realize, one, nothing is cheap. You've got to pay for everything. In Fiji, you'll have easily someone come help you with anything, for free even. And it's you'll just give them whatever amount. It's
for example, if you need somebody to look after your child, you have a family member.
You've got your village, right?
And you have someone there. But here,
you got to pay for that. Yeah. Even to do the lawns, you got to pay for that. Literally everything is money here. And then you realize, actually, when you come here, you need to, everything you're qualified for doesn't matter. It goes out the window. The system is different. You need to start from scratch, basically.
I think that's why most of the people I know have done a complete career change, because what they studied in uni, for example, and then
It's
the actual
irrelevant.
job they did in Fiji, they have to come here. Like, I know a lot of people who are now like probably teachers or who are like healthcare workers. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it just shows the vast differences between the countries, and I guess again
the
like
education system.
system and the perspective of what is green on the other side looks to each person.
Different. It's so different.
Living in Brisbane, like, do you see a lot of Fiji Indian people here, and what do you feel like it's easy to talk to someone or just say hi, hello? Is it, because usually I've noticed, personally, when I travel and I find someone from Fiji, especially if it's a Fiji Indian or Fijian of Indian descent, as we call it, there's a bit of hesitancy with like, oh, you know, should I talk to them? What if they like invite themselves over to my, you know, it's happened. And so I'm always, whenever I see someone, I'm always like, do I smile? I smile generally. I try and say Bula if, you know, I figure out, I'll be like, hey, Kese, you're from Fiji. But a lot of times I notice in my
don't want to.
They avoid the interaction.
Yeah.
Has that happened to you?
So they have a shop and save here in Brisbane, and every time I go to it, I get so excited because it's like I'm in a supermarket in Fiji.
In Fiji, yeah.
It's so weird, but the prices are double of everything.
Sure, yeah.
And you like try and talk to the cashier, like Kese, and then like I'll talk in Fiji.
And they're all from Fiji.
They're all from Fiji working there. It's obvious. And I'll speak in Hindi because they don't assume I'm Indian, or maybe they know and they don't want to talk to me in Hindi. So I'll always be like the icebreaker. I'll be like, oh, they'll ask me, oh, did you want a bag? I'll be like, nay, it's okay. Like, I'll try and throw in that I'm Indian.
But see, that happens in Fiji too. Like when you go shopping, when you go to a store, and I mean, it's Fiji, right?
Yeah.
And the other person is also like a Fiji Indian, for example. And they'll speak in English.
Yeah.
And I'll be replying in Hindi or Fiji Hindi, and they'll continue, and I'll be like, there's been instances, and I don't know whether it's whether I'm being rude, but I usually say, huh, hey, like, you don't speak Hindi nahi janta baat kare.
Maybe they've been told to speak in English.
I mean, it could be a customer thing, but also like, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes, you know, like I get excited when I see people especially in different other countries other than Fiji that are from Fiji, because I'm like, hey, you know, we're from the same country,
and I get to
citizen,
talk.
You know?
I get to talk in our language, so it's like no one in my home speaks it, so it's nice. Yeah. But no, it is a very standoffish culture. You can't sit with this attitude sometimes.
I don't know why. Like, I wonder if somebody like watching this would be able to tell us why that's the case.
Maybe like, they don't want you to come to their house.
Let me give you this other example. Like, I have a lot of followers from like Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, and there's a few that like live in Brisbane and Sydney. And a lot of my followers from Sydney, actually, every time I'm in Brisbane, they always say, "Hey, are you coming to Sydney?" Or like, if I'm in Brisbane,
to catch up.
So I remember there was this one guy. You know, nothing dodgy, nothing in that way. Just a friend, you know, usually corresponds with my stories.
Yeah.
And I reached out. This is a couple of years ago, and I reached out and I said, hey, like, I'm in Brisbane. You know, let's all catch up for like a drink or lunch or something. And then he just kept like, and he would be the one who would say, let's meet. You know, let's catch up.
So when you initiate it,
so when you start initiating it, people don't want it. And I'm like, oh,
they just say it.
But it's fine. Like, it's fine. But then, I mean, I'm guilty of doing that too. You know, I'll be like, hey, let's meet, but then it never happens.
Circumstances,
and then like, and then the other people who you'd be like, okay, like, every time you say we'll hang out, and then we don't hang out, and then a year's gone. So I guess it works both ways. But then again, like, when you're in another country and you make friends through like social media, for example, like, you have that sense of, oh, okay, like, you know, we're from the same country. They're reaching out, maybe we should meet. And I've made like some really cool friends through social media. And they're still friends with me today, and it's nothing, and it's nice. So that bond is there. But I don't know about when you actually run into people. It's very weird.
No, it's very weird. Like, even the local veggie shop we go to, it's like Singatoka Market. You know, the one.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many Indians there, and it's always like you just kind of just smile, but nobody knows, like, do we talk, do we not?
Like, remember when we went to church? I'm not going to say which church.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, they look like they're from Fiji. Yeah. So on our way out, I actually stopped and I said, hey, Bula, you know, how are you guys? And they didn't want to talk to me.
They don't want to talk.
And I'm standing there like, you know, like one auntie, I'm like, oh, so you guys live here, you visiting? Yeah. And they just didn't want to talk. And I was like, okay, well, enjoy your Christmas. And I just walked away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I would be interested if someone watching this would be able to tell us why.